knew that spoken word was the #1 art form in Sacramento. Got it going on from Sunday to Monday. Every day you can go to a poetry venue and hear spoken word. Other crafts don't have that. And she knew that. She knew poetry was flourishing, so she sat down with her pen and paper and she wrote a poem that came from her heart that she had embedded into her soul for 2 years. Took her 3 days to write that poem, and she held on to that poem, had it into her soul and wanted to release it, but just couldn't. She kept looking at that poem over and over and over again. Kept holding up that pen saying, one day I'm going to get on the open mic and do a poem that I hope everybody would like, but she kept holding it. Then came the day she finally got the courage to get to that poetry venue, and she walked in, was there 30 minutes early with her notepad and her pen and her mind and her soul and her heart, ready to do what she couldn't do for the last 2 years. And in her eyes she had tears as she signed her name on that line. She was the third poet up. And she waited. And she waited and waited and waited as the crowd cheered and yelled, packed house. Oh my God! Oh my God, He Spit Fire is coming to the mic. Oh my God, it's Supernova. Oh my God, it's Kyrie Malik. And now we're ready for our first feature. Put your hands together for Talam Acey, who will be followed by Sekou the Misfit, who will be followed by Sonia Renee. And she's sitting there and looking at her mother and so excited to do this poem. And you can see it in her veins and you can see the sweat coming out of her pores as more people kept coming through the door. She's waiting to do this poem that she had been holding on to for 2 years. And poet after poet after poet kept getting on the mic, and she kept waiting, and her palms got sweaty, and she was getting so excited. Finally, she was going to have the chance to do this poem, and she's hearing more poets coming the door, more poets coming the door, and oh my God, it's Rob Anthony is in the house. We got to get him on the mic tonight. Oh my God, Born to Be Poets is here. Let's move them up the list. And she's clutching her fists, wondering how come she hasn't been called. She's just wanting to do this one poem she's been holding on to. See, this sister sitting in the back had a poem about how hard it is to be a single mother and 4 kids she raised on her own. See, this sister had a poem to all the Christians who are donating funds to New Orleans, and she wanted to let them know that you're not doing the right thing if you're giving it to the presidential thing, because the presidential thing isn't going to the churches, and it's a whole thing that you don't even understand. And people are saying that T.D. Jakes is the cause, but T.D. Jakes isn't even on the campaign. People are going insane, and she wanted to express this, to tell them to stop giving their money because that funds are not going to the churches that were on the radar. But she didn't get a chance, and she had a poem that was going to save her life. And if this woman doesn't get on the mic tonight, she's going to die tonight. And she's waiting in the background, just looking at everybody as poet after poet is getting standing ovations, doing poems about all kind of things like how they won slams across the nation. And she's waiting, and if this poet don't get on the mic tonight, this poet is going to die tonight. And she's in the back, and people are asking, when do you go on? And when is your turn? She's starting to burn, and all of a sudden the last feature comes up. It's Sonia Renee from Washington, D.C., y'all. And they start clapping and yelling and screaming, and she's sitting in the back, dreaming, ready to do this poem she's been holding on to for 2 years. And Sonia Renee gets that final standing ovation, and she's rocking the house, and she's rocking the mic, and she is actually getting time to do the poems that people like. And this poet is still in the background, and doggone it, if she don't get on the mic tonight, she gonna die tonight. And finally the MC comes to the mic. I hope y'all had a good time. We are here every week. $5 to get in. Tell a friend. It's going to be off the hook. And the time she took to write this poem, and she's still sitting there, and this poet is going to die tonight if she don't get on the mic tonight. Thanks for coming. And she stands up, and her mother says, what's wrong? Are you not going to get to do your poem? And tears start coming out of her eyes, and she starts to realize that she ain't getting called on an open mic after being there 30 minutes early, after harboring this poem for 2 years, after taking 3 nights to write this poem. And she screams, no! MC looks in the back of the room. Pow! She falls to the ground. Oh my God! Damn! We just lost another poet. There's one less poet who will grab a pen and paper and come to the venue to share their heart and soul. There's one less poet who will get on the open mics to do poems that could have healed someone in the audience. There's one less poet as she lied, bleeding out her emotions on the ground, suffering. She's dying. as the MC stands over her, thinking about the open mic list, thinking about all the people she shoved before this poet. And the MC looks and says, dang. And they pull out a piece of paper from her notebook, and all she had was one poem, and all she wanted was 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And she could have lived.